Yes, yes, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people all around the world, we are live. Or I'm live. The name of this stream is If You Living in the World Today. Because this the stuff you gotta be aware of. I'm just gonna play a video that I haven't seen yet and just react to it and see how it go. Let's go. Let's get into it. I hope I don't get knocked off for using someone else's video, but everybody do this.
In October, over 850 experts, including yourself and other leaders like Richard Branson and Jeffrey Hinton, signed a statement to ban AI superintelligence as you guys raised concerns of potential human extinction.
Because unless we figure out how do we guarantee that the AI systems are safe, we're toast.
And you've been so influential on the subject of AI, you wrote the textbook that many of the CEOs who are building some of the AI companies now would have studied on the subject of AI.
Yeah.
So, do you have any regrets?
Professor Stuart Russell has been named one of Time magazine's most influential voices in AI.
After spending over 50 years researching, teaching, and finding ways to design
AI in such a way that
humans maintain control.
You talk about this gorilla problem as a way to understand AI in the context of humans.
Yeah, so a few million years ago, the human line branched off from the gorilla line in evolution. And now the gorillas have no say in whether they continue to exist because we are much smarter than they are.
So intelligence is actually the single most important factor to control planet Earth.
Yep.
But we're in the
Nobody has said if they exist or not. You don't control nothing. It's not up to you.
process of making something more intelligent than us.
Exactly.
Why don't people stop then?
Well, one of the reasons is something called the Midas touch. So King Midas is this legendary king who asked the gods, can everything I touch turn to gold? And we think of the Midas touch as being a good thing, but he goes to drink some water and the water has turned to gold. And he goes to comfort his daughter turns to gold. And so he dies in misery and starvation. So this applies to our current situation in two ways. One,
you get what you ask for. You get what you ask for.
is that greed is driving these companies to pursue technology with the probabilities of extinction being worse than playing Russian roulette. And that's even according to the people developing the technology without our permission. And people are just fooling themselves if they think it's naturally going to be controllable. So, after 50 years I could retire, but instead I'm working 80 or 100 hours a week trying to move things in the right direction.
So if you had a button in front of you which would stop all progress in artificial intelligence, would you press it?
Not yet. I think there's still a decent chance that guarantees safety, and I can explain more what that is.
Nobody can guarantee safety.
I see messages all the time in the comment section that some...
So I want to pause there because I'm going to skip around in this. This is a video that's about 2 hours long, and it's titled, An AI Expert Warning. 6 people are quietly deciding humanity's future. We must act now. Now, this goes along with everything we've been talking about. All of these things where I told you I just felt led in my spirit to start talking about these things. I don't know why this isn't something I ever covered before, but as I started to put the pieces together, it just was clear to me. Now, he brought up evolution and how millions of years, guys know I don't believe any of that. And also, I don't believe it at all. But then also when you get into, what can we do now? I'm going to be honest with you. Now, he may, say that we can do this, we can regulate that. I'm not sure how far he's going to go into that. But I just want you to know, I personally do not think there's anything we can do to stop it. It's too far gone. It's too entrenched in our government, the world governments. This is the plan that they have. If you didn't see my live stream I did the other night, well, we went over The Economist magazine's look ahead to the world in 2026. You have to understand that this is a magazine for the elites. This isn't them being speculative. This isn't them thinking this could happen. No, they're laying out the blueprint of what they know is going to happen. And understand, this is a magazine for the elites, for the people in the know. And that video, I just posted a clip, the section of that live stream on my channel. If you haven't seen that, make sure you watch it after this one because it is that important to understand. Now, also, you need to also understand that the Rothschilds, chair that magazine or have, were part of it or a part of it, as well as many other of these elite families. So when they tell you the truth, when they tell you what the plan is, for certain, we need to pay attention. Okay, we need to pay attention. They're not doing it for laughs and giggles. They're not doing it just to do it. And it's honestly astonishing that if you really look for the information, they tell you the truth. You don't have to guess it. All of it is out there. It's just that most people are distracted with all this other stuff that means absolutely nothing. I have told you over and over again, this is the most important thing in the world right now. Okay? This conversation we're about to look at, the Project Stargate with AI, digital ID, the things I've played that Elon Musk has said, the World Economic Forum, what their Agenda 2030 is, that you will own nothing and be happy. They're not playing games with this. And yes, the United States is part of it all. Then you have 3-Eye Atlas, you have volcanoes and earthquakes, just all of these signs and wonders are converging to where I believe we are in the end times. I know a lot of people say it, or people have said it in the past, but you can't look at biblical prophecy and not see how this is all laid out literally in the Bible. And that's where my focus has been, because I think a lot of people are going to think that they can, and I've seen the comments, people think that they're going to be able to resist and regulate and vote people out, and they're going to have to bring in, we're going to have regulation that makes it safe, and we're going to, no. That's a false flag to me. Just from what I've seen, this is going forward, and this is the plan. And if you are not distracted and you start to see the dots, it's all laid out. Okay? And I show this information to you. I talk to you guys about this, not to scare you, but to prepare you. And to prepare your heart, because a lot of people are just living life asleep at the wheel or just reactionary. And that is a dangerous place to be.
Terrible. Messing up already. Have my mic muted, said a whole synopsis of things. Let's go.
It's an extinction risk at the same level as nuclear war and pandemics. But I don't think they feel it in their gut. You know, imagine that you are one of the nuclear physicists. You know, I guess you've seen Oppenheimer, right? So
See? See? Did it again.
On your career journey, you gotta.
What I said was these are intricate details that you must pay attention to because this stuff that they're talking about is coming down the line. They're not playing when they tell you this stuff. They're letting people know, but nobody's paying attention.
You received an OB from Queen Elizabeth?
Yes.
In fact, they've
Hold on.
removed any safeguards and rails to protect.
Not only billions, trillions have been invested into this. Trillions. Trillions. A lot of money. The government can't stop this. The people that are putting this in place have more money than all of the governments. They have more money than the governments. Understand that. Money talks. BS walks.
Protect us. It's like a race. It's a race
more than 30 years ago. Do you have, when you're alone at night?
I'm still here. I'm still here, just letting this stuff play because interruptions is not really needed on this one. It's really not. So stay tuned. Tap in.
And you think about decisions you've made on this in this field because of your scope of influence, is there anything you regret?
Well, I do wish I had understood earlier what I understand now. We could have developed safe AI systems. I think there are some weaknesses in the framework which I can explain, but I think that framework could have evolved to develop actually safe AI systems where we could prove mathematically that the system is going to act in our interest. The kind of AI systems we're building now, we don't understand how they work.
We don't understand how they work. It's a strange thing to build something where you don't understand how it works.
Yeah, we don't understand how it works. The people that's building it know exactly how it works.
I mean, there's no sort of comparable through human history. Usually with machines, you can pull it apart and see what cogs are doing what and how the.
Well, actually, we put the cogs together, right? So, with most machines, we designed it to have a certain behavior. So we don't need to pull it apart and see what the cogs are because we put the cogs in there in the first place, right? One by one, we figured out what the pieces needed to be, how they work together to produce the effect that we want. So the best analogy I can come up with is, the first cave person who left a bowl of fruit in the sun and forgot about it, and then came back a few weeks later, and it was sort of this big soupy thing, and they drank it and got completely shit-faced.
They got drunk. Okay.
And they got this effect. They had no idea how it worked, but they were very happy about it. And no doubt that person made a lot of money from it. So, yeah, it is kind of bizarre, but my mental picture of these things is like a chain link fence, right? So you've got lots of these connections, and each of those connections its connection strength can be adjusted. And then the things an intelligent system could do is to do AI research and therefore make itself more intelligent, and this would very rapidly take off and leave the humans far behind.
Is that what they call the fast takeoff?
That's called the fast takeoff.
Sam Altman said, I think a fast takeoff is more possible than I thought a couple of years ago, which I guess is that moment where the AGI starts teaching itself. In his blog, The Gentle Singularity, he said, we may already be past the event horizon of takeoff. And what does he mean by event horizon?
The event horizon is a phrase borrowed from astrophysics, and it refers to the black hole. And the event horizon, if you've got some very, very massive object that's heavy enough that it actually prevents light from escaping. That's why it's called the black hole. It's so heavy that light can't escape. So if you're inside the event horizon, then light can't escape beyond that. So I think what he's meaning is, if we're beyond the event horizon, it means that, now we're just trapped in the gravitational attraction of the black hole, or in this case, we're trapped in the inevitable slide, if you want, towards AGI. When you think about the economic value of AGI, which I've estimated at $15 quadrillion,
What?
that acts as a
$15 quadrillion. What in the world is a 15 quadrillion? I mean, I know what it is, but I need a little yeah, 15 quadrillion. Well, yeah, 15 with 15 zeros behind it. So 15 times 10 to the 15 power. I can't even fathom that number. Can't even. Oh, this number's even higher than that. Good luck.
a giant magnet in the future.
We're being pulled towards
We're
it.
being pulled towards it. And the closer we get, the stronger the force. The probability, the closer we get, the higher the probability that we will actually get there. So people are more willing to invest. And we also start to see spin-offs from that investment.
This could be all a bunch of nothing, a big scam to try to get money out of other rich people or countries, or from you. Y'all gotta be aware of this stuff, man. This is really kind of diabolical. They letting this thing just go and see what will happen with it. Y'all gotta be careful with this AI stuff, man. Careful. They already said that they consumed the entirety of the knowledge of the world already, the internet already.
Such as
It is a weapon. A weapon. I better watch out.
ChatGPT, right? Which is
What we need to do is learn how to defend ourselves and protect ourselves from this being used in an adverse way.
generates a certain amount of revenue and so on. So it does act as a magnet, and the closer we get, the harder it is to pull out of that field.
It's interesting when you think that this could be the end of the human story, this idea that the end of the human story was that we created our successor. Like we summoned the next iteration of life or intelligence ourselves. Like we took ourselves out. It is quite, like just removing ourselves and the catastrophe from it for a second, it is an unbelievable story.
Yeah, and
But again, I want to reiterate what was said, that they are summoning the demons, that they are creating digital God, that we've told stories that God created us, but we're creating God. We're creating digital God by summoning some type of demon. I think that is important to highlight in this conversation. Yes, this is what's going on. Okay, so that is really what is being summoned. But I want to skip ahead a little bit.
You've made many attempts to raise awareness and to call for a heightened consciousness about the future of AI. In October, over 850 experts, including yourself and other leaders like Richard Branson, who I've had on this show, and Jeffrey Hinton, who I've had on this show, signed a statement to ban AI superintelligence as you guys raised concerns of potential human extinction.
Sort of, yeah. It says at least until we are sure that we can move forward safely and there's broad scientific consensus on that. So that...
Did it work?
It's hard to say. I mean, interestingly, there was a related, so what was called the pause statement was March of 23. So that was when GPT-4 came out, the successor to ChatGPT. So we suggested that there'd be a 6-month pause in developing and deploying systems more powerful than GPT-4. And everyone poo-pooed that idea. Oh, of course, no one's going to pause anything. But in fact, there were no systems in the next 6 months deployed that were more powerful than GPT-4. Coincidence? You be the judge. I would say that what we're trying to do is to basically shift the public debate. You know, there's this bizarre phenomenon that keeps happening in the media where...
Now, before they go on, this is almost over. Now, y'all got to understand how things work, how technology works. Technology works based on the fact of planned obsolescence. They already know that they got the next best, better thing, 10 things or more, probably 100 things more ahead of time. And they just slowly and slowly release a piece, give you a piece, give you a piece, give you a piece. Example, memory cards or flash drives. What make you think they can't put as many gigabytes as they want on a smaller chip as they want? They already have that. Think about that. They already got AI where they want it to be. They're just not letting you see it yet.
If you talk about these risks, they will say, oh, you know, there's a fringe of people, you know, called, quote, doomers, who think that there's, you know, risk of extinction. So they always, the narrative is always that, oh, you know, talking about those risks is a fringe thing. Pretty much all the CEOs of the leading AI companies think that there's a significant risk of extinction. Almost all the leading AI researchers think there's a significant risk of human extinction. So why is that the fringe, right? Why isn't that the mainstream? If these are the leading experts in industry and academia saying this, how could it be the fringe? So we're trying to change that narrative to say, no, the people who really understand this stuff are extremely concerned.
So I'm going to leave it there. I will put a link to this. Like I said, it's about 2 hours long. I think it's worth a listen to hear all of the different things that they talk about. But I just wanted to highlight a few of these things because it confirms what I keep telling you guys. It confirmed in my spirit. I was not focused on any of this a month ago. But then suddenly it just, I just could not stop talking about it. And right now, I'm not talking about politics. Politics doesn't matter anymore. Left, right, independent, not interested in politics, wherever you land, it doesn't matter anymore. All of it is nonsense. All of it is what I believe, all the stuff that they're throwing at us. Have you noticed there's just so much going on? You can't keep up with most of it. And if you're not dialed...
That's the point. They want to sow chaos into the world. The more things that keep you busy, the less you can concentrate on anything meaningful. It's just overload. Information overload. Completely. This is what all these people do. Why do you think Trump threw in 200 executive orders when he just got inaugurated? Why do you think he keep coming with more and more stuff? Why do you think nobody pays attention to all the stuff that he done going through? Like, come on now. You can't keep up. You can't not keep up. It's always going to be something. He going to keep telling lies. And these AI folks are definitely going to keep telling lies. You cannot believe everything any of these people say. Elon Musk included. Come on now.
Then if you're not looking for this information, it's not going to pop up. Or like I said, the media just dismisses it. You're a doomsdayer. You're being negative. The same people who don't trust the government, they don't trust the media, but yet they will believe that. And if you continue to be distracted and you do not laser focus on this, it's going to consume you sooner than you think. Like I told you, they have a plan, okay, for the Agenda 2030, that you will own nothing and be happy. That's what the World Economic Forum has put out. Like, we've gone into those details. It is insane. And you may think, well, we're not part of it. We've given over $100 billion to implement a lot of those things here. We're in lockstep with it. Okay, so now is the time to open your eyes. Not just what you see, not just, learning how to filter out the noise. Things that I'm telling you, all the stuff that people are putting out, all the things that are being talked about that are not related to this, digital ID, the 2030 agenda, the social credit score. If they are not talking about this is like, I don't know how to express any more to you how important it is that this is the main thing. And people who are not talking about it, these influencers or even politicians that aren't, there's a reason why. There's a reason why either they're distracted or they're part of the distraction. There's no middle ground, because all of this is the most important thing in the world. And all the things that we thought mattered, all the plans we had for the future, all these things that we were hoping in any type of revolution, or you're going to fight the government, or you're going to vote people out. What did they tell you? We're not having any more elections, at least presidential. At least presidential. And every day, I just cannot believe the number of people that are not raising the alarms to wake people up. But I realize people are mostly spiritually dead. Even those who call themselves Christians. They're not seeing how this lines up accurately with biblical prophecy. It's all before you. And this is why I will continue to encourage you to keep your hope, your focus on Jesus Christ and Jesus Christ alone. There is no revolution that's going to save us. There's no politician that's going to save us. No government that's going to save us.
Pay attention.
Your hope and focus needs to be in Jesus Christ and Jesus Christ alone, and because I believe he is returning soon. Call that doomsday. You can say that no man knows the hour, but yeah, that shows me you don't know the word of God, because it says that by these signs, we are supposed to be looking for the signs. We're supposed to know the season. We're supposed to be looking at things happening in the world, right? And lining that up with biblical prophecy, but so many of us are so spiritually dead and consumed with all these things in life. And we're now at that precipice. We're now at that point that none of that matters. And again, I don't say this to be mean or to be harsh, but I don't know what else to say. These are the facts. This is the truth. And the more you dig into it, God's word will be revealed to you. And there's also this hope that comes in, not this panic, which is usually their initial reaction, or somehow thinking they can fight against this. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. My goal right now is to bring as many people into the fold, let them hear.
People really just gotta worry about things and concern themselves with what's concerned with them. It's plain and simple. That's it. You can't worry about all this old crazy space stuff they got going on, right? You cannot worry about that. You cannot worry about the economy. You cannot worry about politics, politicians, none of that stuff. Worry about your life. That's it.
Hear the gospel message so that they can have faith in Christ, so that they can give their lives over to Christ, which is what we're all supposed to be doing, but we've lost our way. So guys, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell, because I will continue to bring you these things. But I have some positive things that I bring up as well, right? I have some positive things that I show you, really the wonders of God. And I even with this happening, and seeing biblical prophecy laid out, if you are a Bible believing Christian, if you are waiting for the Lord's return, this should actually make you hopeful. This should actually put joy in your heart to know that we live in the fallen world. We were not promised to be here forever. We were not promised that, that we're supposed to use the government to fix things and to help us. The end was already told to us, but so many of us live as though
The government is only meant to control you. That's it. They're only meant to control what they think they are in control of. It ain't meant to help you at all. It's meant to control you. Somebody said a long time ago, we the new slaves. Think about that.
never was. But as soon as you understand that most of what we've been taught about history is a lie, once you really start to unpack these things, you realize the hope you have in America, the America that never existed, the hope you have in the American dream.
Just going off on a tangent
none
now,
of
but
it existed the way you were taught. I always like to bring up, you know who owned the parent company to McGraw-Hill, where most of our school books came from? Ghislaine Maxwell's father. So I will leave you with that. Like I said, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I pray that truth will continue to be revealed to you. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next one.
In October,
children being taught by these perverts fathers. How does that make sense? Who approved that? That's it. All right, y'all. This Kingsway SL signing off, y'all. First one, I think it went well, relatively well. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share, comment, all the above, wherever you can, wherever you got. Hit me up. If you got any questions, want me to see me review a video that you like, send it to me in the comment, and I'll try to get back to it as soon as possible. Don't forget, hit that down the bottom. I need all your support, and that's about it, y'all. That's about it. Hit that donate. Hit me on that Cash App, Kingsway SL. Kingsway SL, not King Sway. Kingsway. Kingsway. Alright. Peace.